Hi, Brianna. I'm Jay.
Hi.
I'm the general manager.
Hi.
This is my assistant
Nice to
manager,
meet you.
Caleb. Have a seat here. How was your driving today?
It's good. Not too much traffic. It was pretty easy to find. Wasn't too bad.
Good to hear.
Great. So we're just going to jump straight into the interview, all right?
Okay.
So, Bree, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a senior at the Richard Stockton College of New Jersey. I'll be graduating with a bachelor's of business degree with managerial concentration. I'm currently in a sorority, Zeta Tau Alpha. I hold a lot of positions within that sorority. I've been historian. I've been leader of our philanthropy events, so I have to put them all together. I really enjoy putting together the events and, just being a leader within the chapter.
Great.
Now, I see you listed being a historian on your resume. What exactly does that entail?
I have to put together a whole composite for our whole entire sorority. I have to set up picture times, make sure the girls arrive on time and they get there, and make sure they all get their pictures taken, make sure their names are spelled right and everything. And I'm also in charge of all of our PR, which is Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I need to document all events that we do. I take pictures, I upload them, and I make sure every event gets positive and as much PR as possible.
Great. Good answer. So, Bree, tell us some of your hobbies.
Well, like I said, I'm in a sorority, so we do a lot of community service. So I like to do that a lot with my sorority sisters and as well as my own. I'm really interested in playing sports and staying active and being healthy. And I've played sports my whole life, so I'm really into that.
Oh, great. What sports did you play?
I played soccer.
Nice.
All right. Here at Soutnir, we have a very big Go Green image. How would you support that image and contribute to maintaining that?
Well, I'm a big supporter of going green. I think especially companies should decrease their carbon footprint as much as possible. So in doing so, you make sure the restaurant will reduce, reuse, and recycle. You can change all paper products to more Go Green products. All your cleaning products we can look into and maybe change them to more Go Green products. And I think we could also probably look into renewable energy sources like solar panels or windmills or anything like that, possibly to run the restaurant.
Great. All right. So, Bree, can you tell us of any challenges that you've had run into working in the hospitality industry?
Well, the hospitality industry is a very customer-based industry. You have to be good with people, so you have to deal with multiple personalities, a lot of complaints and stuff. So I think that's like the hardest part about the hospitality industry, but it's also one of my strong suits because I'm really good with talking to people. I can get along with anyone. I know how to talk to any type of personality.
Great. Good answer.
In the hospitality industry, there are situations where customers are unsatisfied. Have you ever dealt with this? And if you have, what did you do in that situation?
Yeah, as a server at my job currently, I deal with customer complaints all the time. People are always unsatisfied with sometimes how the food tastes. So if that does occur, I ask them exactly what's wrong. I try to go get the kitchen to fix it, possibly make them a new dish, or if all else fails, I can grab a manager and they can comp the whole meal. And usually people are okay with that because people love free stuff.
It's true. What would you do if you witnessed a fellow employee give away free product to increase their tip?
Well, giving away free products just for personal gain is never a good thing because you're taking away profits from the company. So I would take them aside, tell them what they're doing is wrong, give them a warning that if they do it again, they'll be written up or possibly even terminated if it continues anymore.
Good answer. I think we have all that we need right now. Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, why, either of you guys can answer, why did you guys choose to work for this company? What's your favorite part?
Well, working at Soutnir is a very family-based company. Everyone here gets along. We're essentially a family here, and it's just a great environment, and there's always room for advancement. So, it's,
Sounds like a great place to work.
it is.
All right, so I think we have everything that we need in total here that you'll be hearing from us shortly. All right, it was great meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Thank you.
All right, we'll walk you out.
Hi, Kayla. I'm Brianna. I'm the
Nice
general
to meet you.
manager here. This is Jay. He's the assistant
Nice to
manager.
meet you.
Just take a seat right
Sit
here.
here.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
How was your drive-in?
It was good. Hit a little bit of traffic, but otherwise I found the place all right.
Okay, that's
Great.
good to hear. All right, so I guess we'll just get started. What do you look for in terms of culture?
Well, for a company that I work for, I like it to be comfortable. I like the atmosphere to be really easygoing, laid back, but I also like the hustle and bustle and movement of the hospitality industry, so that's what I look for in the culture. I like the runaround, but I need to be open and invited as well.
Great. All right, Kayla, can you tell us what qualities do you feel a good leader possesses?
Sure. A good leader, I think, is a very well-rounded individual. I think they have to be very assertive and decisive. But in regards to those decisions, I think they need to understand each different situation as an individual situation and take all the different aspects of that situation to make the decision. They also need to be very approachable and friendly and open to different ideas.
Great. Answer.
Here at Soutnir, obviously the hospitality industry, you have to work a lot of crazy hours, like holidays, weekends, long hours. So is your schedule flexible enough to handle that?
I would think so. In my past 2 jobs, I was in a catering company and I was a server, so I'm used to the long hours, working double shifts, working nights, weekends, holidays. Kind of used to not spending as much family time on those holidays, so I think I'm flexible enough to do that again. I actually don't mind that. I like working later hours and working longer hours. If I'm running around doing more stuff like you do in the hospitality industry, I feel like I'm getting more done, so I would prefer that actually.
That's good.
Kayla, can you tell us what challenges you find as far as frustration in the workplace, and do you show visibility of irritation?
That's a good question. I think everybody gets frustrated at one point or another. It's how you handle it that makes it different for everybody. Personally, I know I get frustrated on a daily basis. It happens. But I don't like to make that a visual thing for everybody else to see. It's more of an internal struggle that I work with. But I do like to address whatever's causing that problem, whether it be a situation or a person. And I like to air out any problems or difficulties that are going on and quickly remove the frustration from the environment.
Okay, great. Sounds like a good solution. I'm just going to give you a little behavioral-based question. Can you explain a time when you successfully utilized managerial skills?
Sure. I think during my college career at Stockton, in my sorority Tri Delta, I work with about 60 different individuals at any given time, 25 of which carry different positions in that sorority. I maintain their positions, which is the requirements of mine as Vice President of Administration. I have to go over their responsibilities, give them certain tasks to complete, monitor those tasks, and have weekly or bi-monthly meetings with those individuals to make sure they're on the right track and see if they're working with the resources that they're given or individuals in their team. So I think at that point I would have used my managerial skills and also helped them develop theirs.
You sound very organized.
Try.
All right, Kayla, we're going to ask you a situational-based question here. If a customer is blatantly intoxicated and the server/bartender continues to serve alcoholic beverages to the individual, how would you intervene?
That situation can be handled differently given if it's a server or a bartender, at least for me. If it's a server situation, it's kind of easier to pull that person away from the customer whose intoxication level is in question. I would give them a task to do in the back or anything out of sight to get them away from the customer. And then I would go to the table and ask if there's anything that the customer would like. And if they ask me for another beverage, I would probably state the fact that given the amount of time and certain requirements that I'm required to follow in my business, I cannot give them that beverage at the time. But if they would like to wait the allotted time, I would be more than happy to give that to them. And I'd work through it that way. If it was a bartender situation, I would probably also like to pull that bartender out, swap it for a new one, just to kind of take that person away from the situation. I would also go to the customer in that case and tell them there's going to be a little bit of a delay in service because of the swap. And if they request another beverage, I would probably tell them the delay is going to cause the delay in beverage. That way I have more time and offer some form of appetizer or something complimentary on me, just to try and soak up everything. And then afterwards I would talk to the individual employee that was involved in the situation and discuss the proper time allotment for drinks and different situations that we have to go through and go over the responsibilities in their position.
Okay. Good.
It's a very good way to handle it. I guess we're just looking at your resume.
Yeah. Well, on your resume, it states that you coordinated a field consultant visit. What does that entail?
For my position in the sorority, which was Vice President of Administration, we have an executive come from our national office And she comes to monitor and review everything that the chapter's been doing to make sure we're following our accreditation plan, meeting certain requirements, and all those different things that we have to do as a chapter. And it was my responsibility to plan her visit, make her itinerary, schedule her meals, any transportation that was necessary, her hotel stay. I also had to sit down and have the meetings with her about these different requirements, and I had to schedule the meetings with the officers and then have reflection meetings with her, so I knew what had to be changed and what she would like to have addressed. And that was for about a week at a time.
Do you have any questions for us?
I actually do. I know in my past job, the managers for the restaurant had to travel outside the restaurant and work in different locations. Would that be a situation I would be involved in, or am I pretty much staying in one location?
Oh, that's a very good question. I mean, usually with Soutnir, we don't travel very much. We don't really have that many locations that are that far. But we are looking into opening, like going more global, like opening up newer locations in other places, other cities. So, I mean, there will be opportunities if you want maybe to travel and to open up new restaurants. But for the most part, we will give you like a more...
Hi Jay, nice to meet you. I'm Kayla. Great. This is Brianna. She's our general manager. If you'll take a seat over here with us. How was your drive on the way over here?
It was great. It was easy to find, no traffic, couldn't ask for anything better.
Good to hear. If you don't mind, we're just going to jump right into the interview here.
Absolutely.
All right, the first question we're going to ask you is, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
Well, hopefully with Soutnir, in a more advanced position. Overall, just be more financially stable.
Okay, that's pretty good aspirations.
Would you be able to handle laying off or terminating employees? And if so, how would you go about it?
Laying off and terminating employees is never an easy job. But if it were to come down to that, I would follow a procedural list that I normally use when I do have to do this. First, I would call in a meeting with the employee and address the problems that were arised, and then if there are any severance packages that I can offer this employee, if that were the case, I would offer, and if not, just wish them best of luck in their future endeavors and send them on their way.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like you're pretty aware of those procedures for that. Great. Here at Soutnir, we like to think that our employees are the happier people that we hire. How would you maintain our good employee morale?
All right. Employee morale is very important to the company, especially when employee productivity and having everything run smoothly. So therefore, I would have to be the role model and leader in that scenario, and pretty much show them how to conduct business the way I would want it reciprocated. Also, treat them with respect as individuals and professionals.
All right. Good answer. Jay, have you ever been on a team where someone wasn't pulling their own weight, and how did you handle it?
It's actually a very good question. I recently ran into a situation where I was working with a fellow colleague and on a project, so I noticed that she was lacking on her part, and when I finished my side of the project, I asked her if she needed any assistance. She did. We finished the project, and it actually strengthened our relationship, and now we'll be working on a few projects this upcoming year.
You handled that very well.
Here's a situational question for you. It's about maybe the 5th day an employee has been late to their shift. How do you handle this, and what's the next step you would take with dealing with that employee?
All right. Well, my first step would be to approach the employee and see if there's any problems that I can assist them with. If they need some scheduling arrangements, we can try that. If that just doesn't work out, then we're just going to have to proceed accordingly.
Looking at your resume here, I see you have... Okay, well, I think that's all the questions we have for you. Do you have any questions for us?
Yes, actually I do. How would my position impact Soutnir in the short term and long term?
Okay, well, I'll take that if you don't mind. In the short term, I think you kind of had it on point with your employee morale aspect of when you answered that question, and how you would bring that up in the short term. And in the long term, bringing up that employee morale would lead to more productivity within the company, so I think that's where your impact would be.
Great.
All right, so we'll be getting back to you shortly. It was great meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank
All right,
you.
we'll come out.